Good evening. It's that time of the week again. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock, and it's time for another Interconnect. Going to be a very, very busy evening tonight because I've got lots on this screen down here and lots to go wrong, but many things to go right as well. Got some lovely guests with us tonight, and a lot to talk about. Got a few videos to show, and so we should be rolling along quite nicely. So let's bring one of our regulars onto the stage. I mean, good old bro.
Here
The
he
happy,
is, the man
happy feet,
himself.
the man himself, Happy Feet, and we shall go into that
Good
later.
evening.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Can't complain.
Looking very smart again.
Reasonably
Very
happy.
smart.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dapper.
Thank you very much.
Make me
Yes.
feel a bit definitely second class, but there you go.
Well, I used to do a long time ago some language training to a lot of Japanese people via the internet, and I used to have to dress up for that because they were business guys and sort of physicians, so they were quite, highbrow really, and quite a lot of pressure. So I used to dress up for that. And so for this program,
Was that your gold lamy outfit? Was it?
not so much.
Yeah.
So for this program, I've got to make the same effort, haven't I? I actually feel better. I feel like like I'm in the right mental framework if I make an effort. If I don't feel sharp. I feel a bit lethargic.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. I can go with
So
that.
I prefer this. I'm like my dad, really, I suppose.
Well, I think it might be because we've got two beautiful ladies with us tonight that we're going to bring on now.
Obviously.
We got Veronica.
Got to make the effort.
And we got Pat in Lisbon. Hello, you both.
There you are. Woohoo.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, all. How are we both? Are we all in good stead?
Doing well for is it Wednesday already? Yeah.
Wednesday,
Doing well
yes.
for Wednesday, yes.
Because you've been busy. You've been busy, Pat, haven't you? You've been all over the place. Like the rest of us, you've been discovering Portugal.
I have been. I recently was down in the Algarve. I'm looking forward to sharing some of that experience with you guys.
Well, the ladies to your right there will probably tell you a hell of a lot more than I could about the Algarve. And it's great having her on because I've waited. I've pleaded so much to get somebody from the Algarve on to come and share what we need to know because it's part of Portugal. We've got people in central Portugal, Lisbon. We've got people in the north, but until now, Algarve has remained very quiet, very reserved.
Oh, we're not quiet or reserved down here. Be careful what you ask for because you're getting the sunshine on your channel.
Well, there you go. A little ray of sunshine.
But it's been a mystery to some of us. So now I think, you're going to tell us all about it. It's going to be wonderful.
Oh, yeah. It's like its own little country down here between the east and the west. I even had to make a video because people came in and said, oh, we're going to spend a day or two in the Algarve. And you're like, by car, it's 2.5 hours, and there's a ton of different cities. And what do you want to see? And, you want history, you want beaches, you want oceans, you want wine. There's a lot to see and do. So it's not like a couple-day trip. Just like Portugal is not a couple-day trip. People keep doing that, saying, I'm going to be in Portugal for a few days. Where should I go? And you're like, that's a tough one. What do you like?
So, how about you, Terence up there? What have you been doing? Would you like to share your weekend with us?
I've been doing mainly a lot of dancing and singing and enjoying myself far too much, and plus working, obviously. And those three things really have been the main sort of tenets of this week for me. But yeah, I've had a great time. I've really been enjoying myself.
Great. We will share those images very, very shortly. But I myself, I've been out on the range. I've been experiencing the deepest Castillo Branco, and learning a bit of culture and a bit of history. And
it's doing a bit wild out there.
Wild.
It is wild. Very wild.
I spent the weekend. Actually took the camper van out, and went to a little festival where Mark lives, Sobrero Famosa. And had a nice weekend there. So I'm just getting a bit of feedback from you, Pat. So I'm going to mute you just a second. That's it. I think he told me watching the television.
I'm enjoying the commentary. I am. I can see what's going on. It's the football match, is it? Spurs Man United, the big final. Yeah.
Sorry, where was I? I've lost it now. Yes,
You went to somewhere called Sobral.
Braille Formosa. I think Formosa.
Yeah, Formosa.
That wrong. Mark will tell me if I forget it wrong. But I've done a bit of a video here.
Or
A little bit of a to show you what I was up to. Now, there's two things in this, right? There's the camping excerpt of it, which is nice way to go around Portugal if you've got a camper van. And there are some lovely little places you can go to, campismos or campsites. Most of them are very reasonably priced, and the one that I went to was actually free, completely free. You have to be a bit forgiving on the quality of this one because the wind noise on the camera. I was using my little portable one because a certain person has got my camera at the moment working on a project. So yeah, but it gives you a bit of a sort of a vision as to what I've been up to over the weekend. So just bear me 5 minutes with this and have a look at this.
Is it 5 minutes?
It is. So I'm here. I've come out camping. I've got a weekend off. I think I deserve it. I've worked quite hard. So we've come out here to a campsite where we've been once before. I'll put where the location is on the screen. But we came here last time and we're amazed that it's a very clean, quite new sort of site, which has got electric. It's got hot and cold showers and a lovely view up into the mountains. And it's all totally free, absolutely free. We've come here because tomorrow we're going to be doing the Malia tour and see our friend Mark. So we're just going to lay up overnight here and maybe watch the Eurovision Song Contest with a bottle of wine and see how that works out. So let's take it from there. So just tell us the basic potted rules of Malia.
Okay, so Malia is a village game that's played here in Portugal. You play in pairs and you have play against an opposing pair. You throw the actual mesh, which is a metal round disc, at a pin that is 15 metres away. And the plan or the aim is to actually knock the pin down and to get your mesh closest to the actual pin. You get 3 points if you get closest to the pin, and then 6 points if you knock the actual pin down. And it's the first pair to get to 30 points wins that leg. You play over 3 legs, and then if you're successful, then you go into the next round and obviously through to the finals.
And how much does the disc weigh roughly?
So the mesh is approximately 600 to 700 grams.
which probably thrown around all day makes your arm ache a bit.
It does, yeah. After the first few throws, you just get used to it. But if you end up going the whole way through to the final, then certainly you end up with a little bit of a sore shoulder by the end of the day.
And what's your prediction for today? Where do you think you'll be?
Hopefully I'll get through maybe to the final 8 quarters if we're really that for me will be good, because this is one of the bigger tournaments, so I'm guessing they're probably going to be about 32 teams playing.
We should be watching with bated breath. Good luck, my friend.
Thanks ever so much. Probably 6 feet.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see his stick? I can do it for
Estamos olhando para lá, mas o pessoal é o que
Right, I'm going to just bring you back in there just a second, because somebody was coughing in that. I think it might have been my brother, to be honest.
Me?
Yes, I think so. Little devil use. There we go. Now then, there's the man himself to tell us about what happened. The man himself, the man who introduced me to this, and I really like this game. I think it's just a game you could play anywhere. With a few beers and have a lot of fun, which obviously these guys did. So welcome, Mark. Thank you for that weekend. I really enjoyed it. Simple but very, very good fun.
Evening all.
Evening. I tell you what, though, I wouldn't play that game with a few beers inside me. You know, with that metal disc. I mean, where's it going to end up? Through somebody's car window? You know, some of the teeth there, they didn't look totally full, did I bet there's a few accidents with that. It looks a bit dangerous.
Yeah,
I'd like to have a go.
I think there's a little bit like darts, though, that I'm sure you get better at darts the more beer you've had. And honestly, I think the guys end up playing so much better in the final than what they are at the beginning. And okay, so by then they may well have played 6-7 games. But believe you me, I think it's the beer, really.
Yeah. What about the girls? Do the girls fancy a game of Mario?
It's like horseshoes is exactly what it is. It's kind of horseshoes. Here they play the pachinko one with the big round ball. The locals play that. We play let's go to a bar and drink and let's travel.
Probably, I'm a bit more attuned to that, I think.
That's my kind of game.
These are you play with the disc, and I was really surprised how heavy that disc is.
Right.
And you know, if you've been throwing that around all day, you're gonna have muscles like Mr. Universe after a while, I think. But it is quite skillful. It is. I mean, I was watching some of the really good guys, and they were knocking that pin over virtually every other throw. Unfortunately, Mark wasn't one of those on this occasion. But
we do a lot of biking in the hills. We do a lot of like jogging, hanging out on the beach. It's not a lot of like just kind of playing games. I've seen just a few people kind of do that with, again, the big pachinko kind of ball, but I haven't seen people just gather to play games. It seems like there's so much activity here with the river and the ocean that people are just out, like outside doing activities.
Yeah.
But that looks really fun, like a group of them, like you could just outdoor bar really, right? So some of you can watch, some of you can play, but it's instead of just sitting inside for those that are being social, it kind of gives you something to do.
So Mark, do you want to just tell us the story of what happened there? Just fill in the blanks better than I can. So your your role in all this, how did it go?
Yeah, so there were actually 29 teams in the end, which is the biggest tournament they've actually had in my village in Sabrera Formosa. So, in total, I'm reckoning there's probably 80, 90 people there. And it really is a community event. It's the whole community come together, everybody in the village, the surrounding villages, and it's, for me, it's an integral part of Portugal. It is about joining in and enjoying the culture that they've been playing. And the guys that got through to the final, they've probably been playing for 30 plus years. From the age of 10, 12, 15. And I've been playing for maybe 15 months. But sadly, we didn't actually get through. So this time, because there were so many teams, they actually put them into sort of small groups of 4. So everybody played 3 games minimum. And then the top 2 of each group then went through to the final stage. But unfortunately, this time we didn't. But in the village in August, we've got another competition, and then in September we've got another one. So hopefully, I'll do a bit better then.
So, do you have any basic advice when you're playing the game? I mean, do you keep a couple of 3 things uppermost in your mind?
So the way that myself and I've been playing with a particular partner for about the last 6 or 7 tournaments. And what we aim to do is to get closest to the pin with our first mesh. And then if we feel as though we've got close to the pin, because you'll get 3 points closest to the pin, if you are close, then we try to actually hit the pin the second time. Because that way you're more likely to actually get the 3 points than you are the 6 for knocking the pin down. And it is just about sort of what I find is that after the first 2 or 3 throws, then you get used to the distance, and it is just about trying to be consistent. It's about consistency. It's about trying to sort of aim for the target, but the distance, I think, is as important as the actual direction.
So what kind of qualities do you need to play Malia?
You need to be able to drink beer. And
That's me out.
yeah, it is the shoulder. It's sort of more of a shoulder and a little bit of a wrist action, but
shoulder, bit of wrist. Yeah. So it's all in the wrist.
And are the women playing too, or are they kind of having fun drinking or preparing the meal at home, or what's
no? So at this tournament, basically, if there are women that wish to play, then they play over a slightly shorter course. So they play over a 10-meter court rather than the 15. At this one, then there weren't enough women that wanted to play. Although I was at a tournament in another village 3 weeks ago, and I think there were four women teams there. So it is. And then what you also saw, obviously, you saw in the film a small child, I don't know, probably 7, 8, 9, something like that, having a good old go. And again, what they do is they then do a 5-meter course for sort of smaller children if they're around and if they want to play. So it really is integral to the whole community. And as I said, some of the guys, they've been playing for 30, 40 years. And every year in the village, there's at least 1 tournament. This year, we've got 3.
Well, if you just listen to the sound, it sounds like a medieval battle.
It does.
Ching, chong, ching.
Yes.
Yeah.
It reminds me of horseshoes. Does it remind you of horseshoes?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so
does,
the American version is horseshoes. The French is a little bit like bull. In the UK, there's a little bit horseshoes. Bit of petanque. I don't know. There's sort of various ways, but here and specifically in central and north Portugal, then Malia is quite heavily played, and they also play it in certain areas of Spain as well.
And what about Lisbon?
Malia. So Malha. Malia.
Yeah. I just wanted to know about Lisbon. Yeah, because what do they play down there, Pat? Do they play Malia or do they play bull or
I have not seen either
Or
of those.
basketball.
They play
I've just seen
drinking.
people, drinking and hanging out on the street. I have
But
not
that's it.
seen
That's just Eric.
the
That's just
skate.
Eric.
Yeah, that's just Eric. No, less about Eric.
Dancing, singing,
No, I haven't seen that.
pastel de nata, waiting in
Yeah.
line to believe.
Yes,
How many
yes.
pastoral donatas can you get down your neck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you can build muscles with that too, as
right.
many of those as you can eat.
It's a long old queue, that queue.
It is. Now, I've just put some up on the screen there. The events agenda. Our man Mark
Good.
there is the creator of this site.
Oh,
Great
and
site.
very nice.
if you're stuck for something to do, somewhere to go to this place, right? And I'm sure there's something available, somewhere near where you are. And you guys down in the Algarve are probably just as welcome to post on there, Mark. Is that agreeable to you? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So real quick snapshot. It's only been up 7 weeks. There's nearly 500 events that have been listed on there already. Over 5,000 people have visited the website in that period of time, and something like 15,000 page views. So there's clearly a need for a database or a website of events that are going on. At the moment, a lot of it is stuff that I'm just trawling, so whether it's through Facebook and so forth, and putting them on. The next stage is for people to be able to add events on themselves, and then there's lots of other things that we could be doing, but I feel as though it's very much in a beta stage at the moment. There's clearly a need there for it. And if you look at all of the other sort of similar event listing websites here in Portugal, things like Bol, Eventbrite, they do sort of various bits. They are all about paid for events, because obviously they make their money through ticket sales and so forth. Facebook, you can post as many free events on there as you want. The problem with that, though, is that they're all in different groups, they're all across different spectrums, and none of it is in date order. So what I've tried to do is, everything is in date order. It's as simple as that. In addition to that, I've also done a list of as many markets as I can find, daily, weekly, monthly, because again, how many times do you see on Facebook, what day is this market going on, what day is that going on? And the final thing is local and national holidays. So Castelo Branco also has 2 weeks ago, it actually had a local holiday. So of course, all of a sudden I get somebody messaging me, why is Castelo Branco, closed for the day? It's because it's a local holiday. So again, I've tried to get as much as that. It's not comprehensive, but it's a big step in the right direction. So
Huge. It's really needed. So if you kind of break those up and have different areas, I'd love to be involved with the East Algarve. I tried to do one on Facebook, but to your point, all you can do is post stuff up.
Yep.
I was trying to scrape them from everywhere else so people could go to one spot, and then you're marketing for a lot of the people who have small, like they don't, it's either free or they're small little startups, and you would never want to charge them money, but they're not going to be like on an Eventbrite or Bowl. And we had like a cooking class in a Portuguese home. We had a private, like super amazing international Portuguese singer in a home, but could only have 30 tickets. So it could be like first come, first serve, just go, just covering the cost. We have stuff going on this next week, and everyone's like, oh, my guitar class is having something. The dance school is having something. And you try to promote as much as you can, but it just gets moved down the list when somebody else posts something. And even if you go on the calendar, it's not in a site like yours. So I'm super excited.
Sounds great.
Well, Veronica, you're always welcome to come on here anytime. Hopefully you'll become a regular, to join us and tell us what's going on. That's what we're all about. Sharing information, sharing events. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but the events, it really does need, to what, I'm sorry, I didn't write down your name, Mark, right?
Yep.
Mark is doing, just where you go just for events. Like I've got 3 days in this city. What is there to do that, especially if they're, local and you want to get in with the communities, not some huge concert or huge something. You want to dig in and be a part of it. You wouldn't know. They don't put posters up. We had a pickleball tournament here. We had the national pickleball tournament here in Villarreal de Santo Antonio. and we put flyers around and kind of broadcasted it. But we were one of the only people that put flyers up, talking to store owners if we could put up flyers. It was so weird. They're like, what do you mean put up a flyer? They're like, we'll just hold it at the front. And they're like, yeah, but people cannot. It's just not done. But if they could look online.
It's a problem, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Portuguese and promotion.
I've got.
Right,
really,
what are you doing now?
I've really got so far behind with these comments because I've been listening to you guys. So I'm just going to work through them. Bear with me. Let me just scroll to the top. Oh, look, somebody was telling us they were grabbing a tea.
That was me. That's why I was waiting. I was waiting to enter that.
Lee's telling me we were late, which we probably were a bit. We were having such a nice chat there, weren't we, really? Somebody's watching the football. Who might that be, Pat? Have we got a score update yet?
Oh, is there a score update?
0-0.
0-0.
No,
0-0.
You could tell if there was a goal, he'd be cheering or cursing.
He made some sounds behind me. I wasn't sure what that was all about.
Are you sure they were mentionable sounds?
I don't know.
Lee has wished you a happy birthday because it was a special birthday for you.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee. It was a special one. They're all special, but this was a
Turn
milestone.
21, you can drink.
I'm finally 21. Thank you.
Yeah,
I knew I liked her.
And you're in Europe. We could drink at 18. So hey.
Oh my God, you're right.
Squire of the Shires, good evening, fine people. Another one from you. Hello from the Algarve, the far east of the south. That's a very good way of looking at it, isn't it?
I look at Spain. I'm looking out my window to Spain. So I call it the far east, like as far east as you can get in the Algarve. Karen
Nubinet is saying hi to Veronica. How you doing?
Thanks for giving me the link so I can put it out.
And a general hello to everybody else. Oh my Lord, there's loads of them. Enchanting vistas and vibrant valleys. Presumably,
that guy's a poet.
Yes. Well, that viewpoint that you saw the footage of, right? It's fun. Everybody's got to go there because, and I agree with Mark. It's one of the best viewpoints you can ever find in Portugal. You can see
good video as well. You did well with the video there.
Well, it's only that little
good performance
camera with no tripod. So
I know.
Joel, Malia, that's how the grannies knew how to throw the slippers.
What is throw the slippers? They throw slippers at you?
You know when your granny you upset her and she throw the slipper to hit you on the head?
No, my granny didn't throw things at my head.
Yeah, violence. You
must have beans.
Yeah.
We had this conversation on Good Morning Portugal. They said they would hit you in the school. They'd come by with rulers and smack you.
Oh, we had plenty of that. We went through that system. Our northern correspondent is out walking the dog by the looks of it, so he's not going to be with us.
Must be having a lovely evening, hey, with the dog and outside in the landscape there. Careful what you tread in, though.
Right.
Another development, accuracy at long distance is a nightmare for the kids. So Joel has obviously had the slipper treatment. What else have we got? Hello, Nubinet. Bad aim, lots of luck. Yes, okay. He's obviously had some really sort of bad experiences there. So we're up to date with the comments. Right, now before we go to the Algarve, we're just going to take a breather. Just a bit of a... Okay, and we're going to go to the Silver Coast.
Yes.
And we're going to discover why the name there, Happy Feet, kind of came about. So do you mind if I share these couple of little
not at all, young
videos here?
Please share.
Because the man can sing, he can dance, he can write poetry, he can paint, he can make great videos.
Mark he's so talented.
But that's enough about me. No, I mean,
I love that joke, man. I love that joke. It's your musical joke.
Let's see him throwing some shape, shall we?
Oh yeah.
Those are some great moves.
Sickening, isn't
thank
it?
you.
Wow.
How sickening is that?
And that wasn't even in your
amazing.
basement this time, your man cave this time, Gary.
Wow.
And to make it worse, you can do this as well.
Touchdown in the land at the Delta Blues in the middle of the pouring rain. Touchdown in the land at the Delta Blues in the middle of the pouring rain.
I'm glad you left home early.
Yeah.
You're
I
the
don't know
reason
whether you-
people don't like to do karaoke because you're too good, and the rest of us are like, no, we're not going up because he's
Well,
professional.
To be honest with you, to give credit to, I think the best people for karaoke, with the deepest respect, are the ones that don't sing too well, but really make an effort, right? And they really have a go for it because they're just loads and loads of fun. I mean, I don't know whether you noticed, but at the back of me, there was a guy going, he's a bit toppy, isn't he? You know,
I saw that.
and the other one's the other side going, yeah, well, I know what you mean. I could so everybody's judging everybody else. But when you get a genuinely sort of funny person that doesn't care, I think that's the best when you have karaoke. What I can say, I'm just cursed.
You're cursed to be able to dance and sing and enjoy
So
life.
talented.
That's great. That's great.
I'll
So
shut
great.
up.
Okay, you're invited out. Come down here. We're hitting the karaoke bars and dance clubs.
Okay, have you got a dance club down there?
Yeah, there's all kinds. Oh my goodness,
Really?
I'll send you a video of the one.
Oh, please
it
do.
had like 7 bars and it's overlooking the ocean, and it is like, it's like Ibiza style.
Wow, I'm going to love that.
Do you want to tell us what was going on there? Why you were sent some
Oh,
strange
yeah,
pubs,
I've got to tell you,
dancing,
yeah,
singing, throwing
every
your
month.
underpants around and that sort of thing?
Every month via Carl Munson, who is a wonderful MC and runs a whole show really, and I go around sort of just putting a little bit of icing on the cake really. It's an event that we have every month, and I think the next one's coming up in June. So you're all invited, guys. I can't exactly remember what day it is, but it's usually around the 18th, somewhere around there. The weekend, the Saturday, usually around the 18th, 19th, 20th. And he gets his beatbox and all his music out, and we do a bit of karaoke and a lot of dancing and a fair amount of drinking. And it's just good fun, you know. And we have a good meetup. And lots of Americans come. You wouldn't believe the burgeoning amount of Americans there are.
We like to sing and dance, make a party, and we'll be there.
Yeah, come on down. And then look, the hotel it's not too expensive. It's a good hotel right in the middle of San Martino, which is a wonderful place. And you can have a great time at Casa de Lem, which is I think the Albergaria is the hotel, but the bar is Casa de Lem.
Or what
really
they could
good
do, what they could do, if I can make this happen, I'm going to show them where they could possibly stop if there's a group, because this is
that
rather
would
a
be
nice
really
place.
fun. We could get a few of us to come up there because I mean I think that's only like a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive.
There you go.
Yeah.
Grande holiday.
Now,
okay.
you tell me about this place and where to go on the screen, because I'm a little bit blind now at the moment. So just talk us through
Right.
this.
Okay. Well, you just click on anything you want. Really, I thought we were going to talk about the photographs. These are some of my photographs, everybody.
Oh, you are into everything, aren't you? Absolutely everything. There's nothing.
I just got this guy in Thailand that does everything for me. No, Casa Grande. All right, let's tell you a bit about Casa Grande. CasaGrandeHolidays.com. That's where you find all this information. So you can have a good look at CasaGrandeHolidays.com. It's a place which accommodates probably about 22 people. And it's kind of split on 3 levels. There's 2 living rooms. Obviously, you can dwell on the old pool there. It's a fair old sized pool, and we can get the fountain going as well. There's a barbecue area there. obviously loungers. That's a nighttime shot. So it's a good family sort of friend atmosphere. Yeah, pool table, all sorts of table tennis tables. There's bicycles, and obviously the great and wonderful thing about this place is it's really pretty much in the centre of San Martino, and the rarity of it is that it fits in so many people, because you get so many places which are apartments. You might sleep 4, 8 at a push. This one does 22, and it's really a superb venue for people which have large families or groups of friends, which can't find a whole place to keep them all together. I don't know of another place in San Martino or thereabouts which has those benefits, and it's near the shops, it's near like the pharmacy, it's near the beach. It's all walkable, 10 minutes and you're there. And so it's a a really nice venue.
Can I just
And
can I just ask something here?
please
You
do.
see that bottle of wine there?
Yes.
Is that one of your paintings on
Oh
there?
yeah, that's one
Oh,
of my paintings on there.
oh my God! It literally does get everywhere, doesn't it? It's terrible.
Gets all over wine bottles. So yeah, you've got good bathrooms, good facilities, showers. There's about 8 bedrooms, and some of these bedrooms you can fit 4 people in, to kind of like elongate the catchment area of people, and they have day beds.
Is that candles on the toilet?
Yeah.
That's a bit dangerous, isn't it?
Well, it all depends how you sit on the toilet, I suppose. With you, yes. For the size of yours, I'm there. So it's a great self-catering venue. There's 2 kitchens. They're all large rooms, and it's also an ideal hub to travel to places like Nazaré, Alcobaça. There's the old Praia del Rey, I think, golf course. And you can do sports like paragliding, hang gliding, surfing, fishing, you name it, really.
But
It's
you're
all in.
walking distance, right? Right to the big bay there, right?
Yeah, it's walkable. I mean, you're talking about 10 minutes and you're on the seafront.
Wow.
And it's safe bathing. That's the other thing. There's no massive tides, which is very rare in Portugal, because you have that long coast, which is all open to the Atlantic swells. This is an enclosed kind of seashell-shaped bay. Shell bay. I need some more teeth. And it's safe for the kids, or people that can't particularly swim too well.
I'm seeing that bay. That's impressive. I've
Yeah,
been
look
to
at the.
Obidos, and we stayed somewhere near there. And this is where we played the North versus the South for pickleball. It was the first big Portuguese
Right.
kind of inter-club tournament. But then that seems like it'd be an easy drive to Obidos, right? I love Obidos.
You played for the South there, boy, huh?
Played for the South, yep.
Played for the South.
The Algarve.
So yeah, that's another little nice place. I say little because it's massive. It's massive, isn't it? That place. It's huge. It is.
That would be great, especially if you could rent it for like a full week or 2 weeks, and then just kind of use that as a launch spot to go to. It's right there by Nazaré. Yeah, you're right in the middle of everything. I mean, that's
there's also specialist nights that you can arrange. So if you want cooking or something like that, or entertaining, I may even come down and do a little bit of karaoke.
Oh no, that's it.
See, we would plan around
no.
that. You're going to give us dates when you're going to sing and dance and plan an event, and we will book around it. We'll get a car. Does the train go up there? Do you go past Lisbon? Does it go into?
Yeah, there's a train station in San Martino. There's also one in Salir de Porto, which is very near, which is a really cutie village. And just at the south end of the bay, there's a little river that rolls into it. And there's another beach there and all sorts of restaurants and stuff. A fair amount of fish restaurants. good cuisine is available in all sorts of ranges. So if you want your pizzas and that type of thing, you can get that. And if you want a bit more upmarket fish dishes, that's entirely possible as well.
Yeah, I'd love to explore the area more. Thank you. Look at, see, we were gonna learn about the Algarve. I'm learning about that area, and sorry, I'm like taking from you.
There
And
we go.
this looks
That's what we do.
amazing.
We exchange. And
This is
talking of Algarve,
love it.
we're coming to the Algarve now.
Yes.
Welcome, Algarve. Lovely to
We're
have you
gonna
on
tell
board.
everyone watch the Algarve so you can see what to do up north.
Well, there you go. I mean, like you say, it's a small country, but there's such a
Yeah.
lot to do. You know, you don't have to go very far to find a different terrain or, a different
No.
experience. And Pat, it was the first time you've been to the Algarve?
It was the first time we went to. Now I'm already forgetting where we went. Oh my gosh, we went to Lagos. And we took a bus down from Orient Station in Lisbon, and it was about 3
Was it
hours
the
and
Flexi
20
bus?
minutes. You could have taken the Flix bus. We took the Reed Express, which is similar. There are like 3 or 4 different bus lines that do that. It was about a 3 hour and 20-minute ride down, nice and peaceful, comfortable bus. And I want to show you a couple of pictures, if I may share my screen.
Wonderful.
You're gonna challenge me now. So okay, let's do it.
Can I click? Do I click present? Will that allow me to do it?
If you click present.
All right, I'm gonna try this, everybody. Hang on.
Yeah, it's. I've only got used to it myself recently. So don't worry.
Okay, we're going in.
We're going in.
We're going in.
Go, Pat, go.
How's that?
Let's have a look. Here we go. And if I do that, there we go.
Perfect. Okay.
Look at that.
Hey.
Wow,
So this is the waterfront where we stayed in Lagos. This is the view from the rooftop of the Airbnb that we stayed at, which is called the Infante Guest House. I'm giving them a plug because they were absolutely fantastic. Our host was from Germany with a Portuguese wife, and he gave us so many recommendations and tips for what to do while we were there. So this was the view from where we stayed. And then we embarked upon the 5-mile cliff walk. This was actually the day of my birthday we did this. So you'll see there's these little boardwalks that are built into the sides of the cliffs. Very safe unless you want to be silly and climb over the boardwalk and go out to the cliff itself. And some people do that, and I did not.
We lose tourists every year by that because a lot of those cliffs hang over, like they're cut underneath by the waves and the water.
Yes.
And you get kind of that sand bank on the top, and they've got to go get that Instagram picture, and it just collapses, especially after the rains. And it just stop it. There's safety rails for a reason.
Yeah, and there are signs everywhere that warns that it's dangerous because of erosion, but people still do it.
Yeah. And all you have to do is go on the beach and look up and go, that is not a good idea. And here you can see it too. Can you imagine standing on that one, look in the middle where it looks like 2 people are kissing on the rocks out there? Imagine standing in the middle and it's like, boom.
That's Pat and Eric. That's Pat and Eric. It was quiet.
No, it's not. So you'll see that there are staircases that go down. There are staircases that go all the way down to the beach in some places. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get back up all those staircases, so I didn't do that. But these are just some examples of what the water looks like from the cliffs. And in a moment, I'm going to show you what it looks like from the water itself.
Yes, you got on the water. You have to take a boat in Lagos, right? And anywhere in the Algarve, you've got to get out there and look back at the stunning cliffs and all. Yeah, look at that. All the hidden.
Wow.
Now, again, do you see that little point in the middle? If someone stood on it, they just.
Actually, that'll be really nice when it's finished.
And here's just a picture of a bug that was on a flower. I thought he was cute, so I took him. But
nice. Very nice shot.
This is what it looks like now when you're down on the water. So the day after my birthday, our host arranged for us to take a private boat. Now you'll see there are a lot of boats out there with 4 to 6 to 12 people. This was just myself, my husband, and the fishermen that took us out on the water.
It's beautiful.
And we got to go through these little holes in the rocks and the grottos. And some of them have holes above them too that you could take a look at.
That's a nice picture, Pat. That's a gem. That one was.
Yeah,
The roof.
that came out pretty well.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Just look at the water. I mean, look at the color of it here.
It's gorgeous.
And then with the sunlight coming in from the top of the rocks, changes the, it looks almost nuclear the way it's glowing.
Lots of caves too. Those guys can drive their boat in the smallest of places, and they get in these little caves, and it's spectacular. It's phenomenal.
It was a little scary, some of those tight spots that we got into, but this man could maneuver his boat like nobody's business. He knew really what he was doing.
Some of them, they're like duck. You have to duck a little because they're like.
I did do this a few times, and I didn't have to. So I'm already short. I don't know what I was ducking for, but
there are some places you have to duck if you're in the right cave or the wrong cave. I would say right cave, wrong cave. You got to duck and cover, man. That is for sure.
And here's the tip of the front of our little sailboat, our little motorboat, fishing boat he took us in with. And this is the last photo that I wanted to show. He told us this is called the Titanic crashing into the iceberg.
It does, yes, I can see that.
He had a few little gems like that. We'd go past some rocks and he'd say, look, there's a skull. Look at the face. That's a camel. That's an elephant trunk. And
Yep.
yeah, it really was. But this.
So you went out for a while if you saw the elephant one, because that's all the way almost by Carvueru.
I think we were out for about an hour with him.
Yeah. That's a good amount of time. It's enough to where you see a lot, but then you're kind of ready to come back in after an hour.
Yeah. We had a wonderful time. 3 days was not long enough.
No, I think that's the biggest mistake all of us make. And many of us being retired here is just plan the extra time. It's worth it. You already made the journey there. You're gonna have to make the journey home. I refuse to stay anywhere unless I go out for minimum of 3 nights, because otherwise you feel like you're just checking in. You might have one day and you're checking out. But I'm going to be there. I have a trip coming up right now, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to get my captain's license there because we just rented a houseboat up in the Alentejo area, the biggest lake that is in all of Europe. That's a man-made lake. And it was so fun renting that houseboat, but there's a lot going on. You really should have a license.
Ahoy, shipmates.
But
that's great.
All right, so can we ask Veronica now? Yes, because I'm a little bit mystified, Veronica, about what you do, and I'd love you to explain to the whole audience out there, because you live now and work in the Algarve, and you've been there for some time. So tell me in a couple of sentences what you do.
In a couple sentences. This is the elevator pitch. Well, so I am officially retired, right? My husband and I came here to retire, and he passed away. So during COVID, I was alone, and I got recruited because I used to train real estate agents in America and was tied into marketing, journalism, real estate, all that stuff. My degree was journalism. The goal was to come here and travel and blog about traveling and write about travel. And the places and things you could do. So during COVID, I got recruited even though I didn't want to work, but all my friends were saying, hey, why don't you? Because you'll be allowed to travel, and what else are you doing? You're stuck at home. And I said, good point. And that allowed me to go up to Cascais. The Abacus family had a luxury real estate company, so I went to work with them. And then from there, I saw how bad the real estate market was. And even in buying my own house, I saw how bad it was. So
when you say how bad the real estate market was this like a call to you? You saw things which you desperately disagreed with. Tell me about those things and how you put those right.
It was unsafe. There's no title. There's no escrow. There's nothing to help you dig through the permits if the permits are correct or incorrect. And so what I did was I found real estate agents who are willing to work with expats and return phone calls promptly. I think the proactive model was really needed here because people were going to multiple agents, and so the agents were just not returning anyone's phone calls. So I kind of ended up building this protective element where you would use an attorney that would send out a surveyor and a home inspector, check out permits, run everything through, look at the city files to make sure that you didn't accidentally buy a house that wasn't owned by the person who says that they're buying it because there's been plenty of scams where people have even
So-
set up notary offices. So
Is that what you do? You vet estate agents. Could that be a fair thing to say, or is it more than
yeah,
that?
because I just pass off all these referrals. I wasn't trying to work. It was just something that needed to be done to kind of protect the people coming in. And so once I put together a program and had it, kind of bulletproof, then my channel was out there. People were already reaching out. And I was like, well, unfortunately, thousands would reach out and I didn't know who was serious. So I said, here's the deal. My son's in university. If you donate 100 euros to him, I will spend an hour talking to you. And that kind of cut out a lot of the people who weren't serious. So it really was just let's see who's serious and not, because at this point, I'm going to hand you off to somebody else. I don't want to waste their time either. And I don't want to waste my time, but I want to do something that's helpful. So that's what I do. If you're willing to, donate, and it can be a small amount too. I just want to make sure people are serious. I have you fill out a full planner because you should know, do you want ocean, beaches? Are you bringing animals? Do you need a visa? Do you have health insurance? Do you need it? What are all the different things that apply to you, and what country are you coming from? So it started with Americans, and then I ended up with clients from all over the world.
I mean, to me, that sounds like a really good bargain, for everything that you're taking on there.
Well, and again, once I pass them off, then all I ask in return is, if I'm passing you off to these real estate agents, to these attorneys, is give me feedback, and financial people, because you need to also have a vetted financial person. One, you use your local CPA in your home country to make sure you're filing the taxes that you need to file in that country, unless you're giving up the citizenship in that country, especially in states, you still have to file federally. And then before you move here, making sure you're doing the right things. If you were to, let's say, get residency here and then sell something there, you could be hit with some pretty bad capital gains. So doing all of those steps before you get here. And again, all I ask is that you let me know, were they good? Were they responsive? Send to someone else if you find someone good. And then you really build this network. And I don't just throw the network out there, because I did that at first. I said, oh, well, here's my information sheet. Here's all the people. I had people calling my attorneys and my finance guys saying, oh, Veronica said I could call you, and then just being demanding. And it's like, no, they're still professionals. You need to send them an email saying, I'd like to be a client. When can we have a call? And I found a lot of the places online were also giving out free fiscal numbers for, not free, but like 60 euros or 50 euros. But they were just round robining them to people. So you give all your personal information to somebody online and they get you the fiscal, where instead of spending 60 or 100, you could have a full hour consultation with your future professional, and he can help you with everything. He's not just saying, okay, here's a fiscal number. Walking you through financial planning, because if you're moving to another country, you still need the financial planning component. You're going to have to file your taxes here every year. So, and I know people say, oh, I can do it myself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine doing that in the States, because there's so many.
I've done it myself, and it's quite problematic, and you do need a good grounding in Portuguese to do it.
It's 100 euros to file taxes here. And if you don't work that into your budget, I don't know if I can say that moving to a foreign country is for you. Because it's a big mistake. If you come here and let's say you buy a property and you start doing things wrong and you end up in trouble, you're probably not going to get your visa renewed.
So really, when you come to look at the people that you deal with, what are the major areas they need help, but they don't realize they need help in?
Advancce planning. I think the financial advance planning is the biggest part of it, because you do not want to have capital gains hit. And again, my guy's he's a local financial person that works with businesses. He doesn't charge a lot, but he's going to advise you correctly. And the people that I use now, if you're up in the north, you might have certain people, and maybe we can make this network bigger. So we have a bunch of vetted people that we have good experiences from. They're giving the right advice, and it's not overcharging. Because I think sometimes you can see that too. These fancy agencies that are like, oh, it's $10,000 to do everything, your immigration, your house, and it's just, it's not realistic. Real estate agents are specialized in real estate. Real estate lawyers are specialized in real estate law. Your CPA in America is specialized in, your situation in America. Your Portuguese one is specialized in Portuguese law, and there isn't really one size fits all. And I think some places I've seen that have this, but their price is exorbitant. The amount of marketing that they're doing.
I think in the north it's fairly patchy. You know,
Mhm.
you're lucky. It's a bit of a lottery.
Veronica, I've just suddenly thought, can you put your YouTube channel into the comment section there so I can just put it up on screen?
Yeah, it's American in Portugal. So I've kept
That's
everything simple because I came here, in 2017 before the big groups came. So now, if you just go at American, that's
and
my
Mark,
Instagram. That's everything. I have a website. I'm not good at the website, but everything is in one place. Who am I? An American. Where do I live? In Portugal. I mean, I want to say I'm a Portuguese resident, but when you're trying to quantify, it's almost like those restaurants. We had a friend open one here and named it after farm machinery. And I'm like, are you a restaurant? Are you a restaurant that's a vegetarian? Are you selling beef? Are you fish? Like this your farm equipment seller. And he's like, well, we just like the name and separates wheat from chaff. And I'm like, yeah. And everybody's driving by thinking it's a farm equipment place.
It's got to have the initials JD. Would they possibly be the farm equipment we're talking about? A good old American? No.
No, it's actually an Irish guy, and I don't want to say because it's just me, but it's out in the Golden Triangle, which is the Val de Lobo, Quinta di Lago, Almansell, where the British, I'm sorry, it's a British mostly that come down and need to be in that elite section, versus I think a lot of us that dig into YouTube, we're looking for like the authentic. We want, we want to merge with the Portuguese people, because if we want like a housing development, I can go get that in California. I didn't need to leave California.
And that is a beautiful way to look at it, because the world is full of disgruntled people who have tourists come over and then people to live, and it's starting to get a kickback now. And if you do it sensitively, you kind of get into the community and get your face, as Mark knows, they warm to you, they will come, and then obviously there are benefits to that. And the Algarve is a very different district. I always get the feeling it's a little bit more Mediterranean in its style, because you're almost turning the corner into the Mediterranean there, and you get a bit more Spanish. So you get a bigger mix of people as well from probably different destinations around the world. So it's got a different vibe, and I can see why people like to go there. So maybe you want to talk about the difference between there and here, basically, the Portugal, north, west, east and south. It is different.
I think inland, you're getting the most authentic you can get, right? When you're talking Alentejo and those little small towns in the Alentejo, because your average tourist is looking for the beach, or a big city like Lisbon or a monster beach. And I think, you're, in the larger cities, no matter what you do, you're going to be a great, vibrant melting pot. It's like New York versus going to the middle of Iowa. It's just, no matter if you're in these big cities, you're going to get this vibrancy and cultures from everywhere coming there for a multitude of reasons. In the Algarve, I think there's a lot of different towns, and I think my town is very authentic, and we only have 2 hotels. So that to me is very important. And I'm in the far east, a lot of the tourists that I'm seeing and people who are just the summer vacationers, they're coming in and going west. And so Lagos is beautiful and gorgeous, but we are seeing more of a tourism vibe in Lagos than people that are living there year round. So just like Cascais, you are seeing a lot of cultures coming in that are not the Portuguese restaurant owners. They're coming from other places and other countries and running the restaurants and saying, come into our restaurant, trying to pull you in. But really, it's that sweet, cozy when you walk by and you poke your head in and you see grandma cooking, or, the actual husband and wife that are Portuguese cooking, that you get that authentic feel. And I think there's a ton of cities like that. There's also a ton of cities around here that are very touristy. And I'd like to see some of that change. Yeah. I unfortunately spoke too highly of my town, and now we probably have too many people, so I've shut down a lot of the videos. Plus, I did on my channel earlier in the year kind of put out the yellow warning to be careful when coming over here, to make sure you're very, very serious. You're not coming here because you want to leave there. You're coming here because you want to live here.
That's a very, very, very good point.
Exactly.
A very big difference.
It's
Very big
huge.
difference.
Yeah, we don't want to see people moving here in anger because they don't like what's going on. Because to live in another country, especially Portugal, you got to pack your patience, and you've got to really want to be here because it's not simple. It's not easy. And so that's one of the videos I put out too. And all my videos are free, is your why, really thinking about your why and then how you envision your life. And if you envision it the same as where you came from, you might not want to move because you're not going to be able to recreate where you came from. You have to have that sense of adventure, and you have to want to be in Europe. You have to want to see history and culture and all these fabulous things that, speaking especially as America, we just don't have. We have cultures because, everybody's come from somewhere, unless you're a Native American. You have, through your family lineage, you've immigrated from somewhere. And there's a lot from all the different towns to see, but our history, 1700s really. So when you're seeing a castle and a palace and you're like, oh, this is from the medieval time, it's so exciting still. I know you Europeans, you're like, oh, there's just another castle. What are you Americans getting so excited about? We're like, we don't have them.
Well, I was just going to ask Mark, did you ever consider going south down to the Algarve? And if so, what were your reasons for not going?
Well, the simple answer is no. I never even considered it, and part of that was because when I chose Portugal, I literally drew a line from north to south, east to west, put a dot in the middle, and that was where I started from. And in actual fact, I live around about 30 kilometres from the centre of Portugal. So for me, it was much more about that complete integration into Portuguese lifestyle, culture, and everything like that. And in the village that I live in, where there's probably about 200, 300 people living, there's only 2 other English families here. So there's only 3 of us in the whole village. And for me, that's what I was looking for. And of course, a nice little vineyard. And
yes, I saw his vineyard. I saw his plot of land, which was very, very nice. Lovely.
Yeah.
Love it. That's about as authentic as you can get. Small village,
Yeah.
a couple hundred people. You got your vines. You're in the middle. Sounds like the Alentejo, or what? I don't know what area you're from.
So it's in the Castelo Branco region. It's from the reservoir that you're talking about. It's I'm guessing probably 50, 60 kilometers north.
Oh, it's gorgeous there. We were up there. Oh my gosh, the amount of standing stones and the cromlech and all that area up in there, the prehistory, the prehistorical side are just phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal. We stayed by Montserrat's one night in this little farm, and literally right next to it was a stone circle. I know the biggest one, the cromlech. I can never say it right. The cromlech, just on the outskirts of Évora, is like one of the largest in all of Europe, and they're saying that rivals Stonehenge in age and location, that it's in its original location. Like it's so rich in there. It's so, I mean, I was supposed to go for 3 days to write an article about Mertala, and then I just kept going. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go over here. Like you could just, it's phenomenal. It's beautiful.
And Pat, I mean, obviously your first visit to the Algarve, what was your thoughts? What was the sort of comparison? Is it what you expected or not?
It's not exactly what I expected. And the part of Lagos that we were in, when we went through the city itself, the old town, it reminded me a lot of Cascais. But the reason for that was because so many tourist shops with, selling towels and hats and Portuguese flags. And that didn't have a good feeling for me. But once we got a little bit away from that, and we were in the main plaza, and we got to have coffee and listen to somebody play the cello, and that was what I was looking for, that more town feel where I was sitting amongst people that live there and just having a coffee. That's what I enjoyed. But the part of it that felt like touristy, as you mentioned, Veronica, that's not a good feeling.
Yeah, Lagos is
like it's being ruined.
Over touristed. It's over touristed. I'm sorry, guys, but Lagos is, and it is such a beautiful area, but it's over touristed. All you have to do is go over into Sagres or some of the other smaller
Yes.
places. But everybody says Lagos, Lagos, Lagos. We have had people move here that lived in Lagos for 6 years and they saw it change. And it's just, they built all of these. They have space where they can build. And I think when you do look to buy, you have to be careful if you're seeing a site that can be overbuilt, because where I chose, we have a river, we have an ocean, we have preserves, another set of preserves. It can't get any bigger. You can, and it's a small town to begin with. So you want to look at what are the borders. And I'm looking at in the east, Sierra has merged into Cabanish, which is like Orange County, Los Angeles. They just merge. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you lose your authenticity with that. So you have to kind of look at what is the potential for that growth to change, because at some point Cascais wasn't that touristy, right? It was a small little town. Now you can't even park, and then Pastos de Arcos, or some of the other areas that were just sweet and cute. If it can continue to grow, and if you have a lot of hotels, take a look at how many hotels and holiday homes they have. They have a lot, and you're looking for authenticity. It's probably not the right place for you, versus what Happy Feet was telling us about. Hey, there's not a lot of big hotels, but you can come here and you can stay in this, this holiday home. And it's not like you're going to go into a monster hotel. And I'm sure in Lagos, you saw they just kept building up the river. You couldn't even drive the river.
Which was really nice about the guest house we stayed in. It was just a little apartment building above a restaurant. There were 3 floors. We got the first floor with the balcony, and there was a common kitchen up on the rooftop where we met other guests and had drinks after dinner. It was really fantastic, but it felt like a home, not like a hotel.
Yeah.
We would absolutely go back to this place for that reason. I don't think we'd go back to stay in a hotel though. That's not our vibe at all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm giggling here because I've just gone back to the comments, and I've got to catch up again. But we're on about the slipper. The slipper
Getting hit in the head.
And this has made me giggle because obviously we said that Joel had a very bad experience with slippers, because he said
at his head, yes.
the worst part of the sole, the slipper was made of wood.
Ow.
Okay, it's Fantastic 50s who we had on the other week on the show. It's a great thing to find out what is going on in the local areas. Of course it is. It's all part of life. I will spare people of watching me dancing. Besides the elephant feet, they are both made of lead. So I was not a man who is confident in his dancing. One of Terence's aliases, I think, Eggy Top Note.
Eggy Top Note. Mm-hmm.
As given to him by Mr. Munson.
Yes,
Claire again.
he's a fond of knowledge in that direction. I love karaoke, but there is none around my area.
Well, you need to get down to
San Martino.
Yes, that's what it's all about. Oh my lord, this load's been built up. Bob's saying third Saturday, perhaps. Presumably, that means the disco dancing.
Sounds about right. But we could find out for you. Bob.
Mind you,
Bob's around the 18th, somewhere around there.
Bob's got some pipes on him, and if my memory serves me right,
Bob does a little bit of singing. What did he sing last time? Can you remember? What did you sing, Bob?
Yeah, maybe you could tell us. I was totally transfixed on his Stetson and his waistcoat and everything.
Stetson. Did you see his guns and everything that he had? And he had some spurs and a big sheriff's. Oh no, that wasn't him, was it?
But Bob was
I don't want to know where you were when you saw somebody with a Stetson and a badge, but that's okay.
Oh, there was
he did have a Stetson.
Yeah. Lee. Well, obviously Lee's got plans to make a trip up there.
What about the girls? Why don't you bring the guys? Hey,
I know. We'll get a van and put us all in it. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So he wants to know the details for the next one. Sorry, we've got to bring some football into this, whether this has changed or not. It's 1-0, but who to?
Yeah.
Obviously, Tottenham are up.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham are on top. Thank you, Pat. Had a great visit there last summer. Solar Life, Spurs, yes, obviously.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs. Tottenham
Spurs.
Glad to share, Bob. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, that's one of yours, Pat. So you know that one already.
Yeah.
What's this? Oh, it was going to. It was going to go to the match in Bilbao.
Yes.
But obviously, Pete hasn't been too well lately, so he's watching from the big armchair, I think.
It's just an excuse, isn't it? Really. I mean, if it was Birmingham, or if it's the Blues, we'd be going there on broken glass, wouldn't we? And just it'd be like
Really?
a religious.
Oh, hi, Deborah. Hi, Deb. Sorry, I just do the shout out because I put on my channel. You guys go online if you're hanging out. So she went through our program and found a house and just a gem. Just we love her, Deb and Gino, in our group because we have little meetups and get-togethers too. And she's integrated like that. I mean, we have our Portuguese cooking classes. Her husband's been going to that, and a Portuguese home with Portuguese people running it. We have our dance. We support the local dance school. They're involved. I mean, they've gotten involved in everything. And pickleball, which is, a mixture of expats.
Pickleball. I'm still trying to figure out pickleball. Why is everybody so interested in pickleball?
Because we don't have to run as far as like tennis. Well,
that's a good thing.
So it's like ping pong and tennis, but with like a wiffle ball, and you just kind of dunk around and you get a little bit of cardio, but it's not aggressive crazy. It's like a really big ping pong field.
Okay.
Well, we've done it again.
There's actually a pickleball court in Lisbon, just by the Vasco da Gama Bridge.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
There's a big club there. I think they've probably got about 4 courts.
Wow.
So the bit where you walk down. You can walk actually underneath the bridge, and there's 4 courts there. There's a club there.
Wow.
Well, the goal of the gals that started in our area were from Palm Springs, Nancy and Denise. Big kudos to them, and they do it at the big stadium where a lot of the Olympic stuff is practiced, and a lot of athletes come from all over Europe to come here and run through the pine tree forest and practice when it's freezing cold in their country. And it's one of those things that brings so many different cultures together. And they had pickle here before. I think it was a French club that started it first, and that's the one that we went to. And there were 6 different clubs from the north that we visited, I don't know, 2 years ago when we did that first kind of South versus North tournament. And you really, it's just another sport and activity that gets people together from different areas, just like Malha, right?
Malha?
Malha. I can write it out phonetically. Yeah, Malha. It does. So, pick your poison, but pick something. Go do something and integrate, make friends, have fun.
Right.
And Anna, my neighbor, I brought her into pickleball, and she had so much fun with it. She's also the principal, or at the time was the principal of the local schools, and her sister was the mayor here. So we got it started in the schools, and they taught the teachers how to teach the kids, and the kids loved it because they could play it right away. And then we got the paddles donated, and it's kind of special. And they want to get it into the Olympics, so they need a certain amount of countries. So now Portugal can be one of those countries that can.
Why is it called pickleball?
The dude that started it, his last name was Pickle, and they call it getting pickled at a certain, I can't remember what the numbers are, but the exact numbers, but when you get a certain way you get pickled. But yeah, it was just the guy who started it.
Just a silly question. I just had to be happy.
Well, actually, that's you, Gary. Thank you. I didn't even think to ask. But
it's a silly name. Don't name it a pickle if it's a paddle.
I normally aim for about an hour, and until now failed miserably because we are now running at 1 hour 18 minutes.
It's because you have me on blabbing. Sorry.
No. I don't think I've got below an hour and a quarter yet. So, but that's a good sign because we keep talking and we have a good time. But guys, thank you very, very much for joining me tonight, especially Algarve down there, and Pat, you telling us about your journeys. And also remember, right, if you want to share something, you want to share anything you want to share, events or something special or interesting people who you just want on the show, get in touch with us. There's the Facebook group down here you contact. If you've got an event, you can paste it there, and probably Mark will pick it up from there and put it on his events website, or maybe you can get in contact with Mark directly. But yeah, once again, another lovely evening where we've learned things from each other about different parts of the country, and made us think. So a wonderful evening. So thank you very, very much for joining me.
Good night.
Thank you for having
Okay.
us.
Night.
Okay, I'm
Cheers.
going to play you out, and you're on this, Veronica, if my memory serves me right. But
Uh-oh,
you watch it,
Templars.
you watch out for yourself here, right? I'm going to play you out with this little clip here. So thank you and good evening,
Sure.
everybody.